Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, we have a ton of news stories to get into today. So Jonah, yes, the former Bronson Reed, the former North American champion, is finally in Impact Wrestling. With the ever-growing list of free agents hitting the open market, Impact Wrestling is gaining this reputation of debuting new talent at their monthly specials, pay-per-views, or at their television tapings. There were 0 title changes, of course, at the Turning Point events last weekend, but the biggest news came in a surprise appearance from Jonah, formerly known, of course, as Bronson Reed, the former North American champion. Now, Jonah, of course, is a man that's highly in demand. He recently debuted for New Japan Pro Wrestling at their Battle of the Valley pay-per-view. The prior week, he actually confronted none other than the Impact World Champion Moose, and I mentioned at the time that it looked like Bronson Reed would be coming into Impact Wrestling very, very soon, and that's exactly what happened at Turning Point. Now, Josh Alexander was in the ring. He hasn't had much luck recently, has he? He obviously won the Impact World Championship at Bound for Glory, immediately lost it to Moose. He was involved in a little feud with Minoru Suzuki, and now he's getting attacked by Bronson Reed. Now, Alexander was in the ring expressing his anger at the situation with Moose taking his title at BFG. He was warned to keep his emotions in check while anger runs hot. Alexander is focused above all on getting his payback and recapturing that same Impact World title, but that is when Jonah's music hit. Now, the big man executed a sneak attack from behind, a body slam, and then 4 consecutive jump-in sentons, which caused internal injuries to Josh Alexander, causing him to bleed from the mouth. Now, Jonah added this flying splash for a good measure. When security tried to intervene, Jonah flattened them with clotheslines too. Jonah exited and returned for one more flying splash. As I mentioned, Josh Alexander was left in a bloody mess. So I did mention that this was going to happen very soon. Jonah, of course, was booked for Bound for Glory. He was scheduled for that show. He was booked and then he was unbooked. And the reason he was unbooked is because he had visa issues. He couldn't legally work in the United States. He could stay there for a period of time, but he couldn't take a paycheck because of his green card issues, because of his visa and immigration issues. That is all resolved. He did an interview with Wrestling Inc.'s Nick Houseman, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he basically, cryptically, he didn't confirm whether or not he was meant to be at Bound for Glory, but he just said, I can't work right now because of this immigration issue. But he was very upfront. He said, in a few weeks, it'll be sorted. And it's sorted now, and that's why he's going to be splitting his time, like quite a few wrestlers are now, between Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm very excited for it. I'm a fan of Bronson Reed. I'm a fan of Jonah. I think we barely scratched the surface, to be honest, with him in NXT. I liked his work, but I did constantly look at him and think, man, he could be such a great heel. He really could be such a great heel in the sense that he was a babyface in NXT, and he kind of was this, dominating Colossus, would do these, the typical big guy that can do amazing things, kind of a Keith Lee. But he was over with the fans, had a great entrance. But you look at him and his ability to move and his ability to just do amazing stuff. He could be such a great heel. That's why I thought he'd be such a great fit in New Japan, because I don't know what the situation is like when it comes to travel, certainly at the moment with people going over to Japan. But you can imagine that big foreign heel that's put on great matches. He's money. He's absolute money. And I'm excited for him in Impact. Obviously, it looks like he's going to be a heel, but I wouldn't be surprised because I think he can be a heel that can still wrestle heel wrestlers. I think he can be a heel that can challenge Moose for the Impact World Championship, and he can just be Jonah. It depends who he's facing. That's whether he's a babyface or a heel, if that makes sense. So right now he's facing Josh Alexander. That makes him a heel. But if he faces Moose, his character will not change. His character will not shift. The only thing that shifts is his opponent. And I like that. So I'm excited to see Jonah in Impact. He's a big pickup, and considering the amount of people constantly coming on that free agent market, and especially now, whether it's, as I mentioned, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, John Morrison, Taya Valkyrie, the list goes on and on and on and on. Still Braun Strowman, still Bray Wyatt. Impact Wrestling can get very, very, very interesting over the course of the coming months, and I'm excited to see what happens with them. But great to see Jonah in Impact, and excited to see what he's going to do going forward. Speaking of new talents, Summer Rae could be coming to Impact Wrestling very, very soon as well, because former WWE superstar Summer Rae was spotted at the recent Impact Wrestling television tapings, according to PW Insider. The report added that there is no word yet on whether she is starting with the company or she was just visiting friends at the event. Now, earlier this year, it was announced that Ray is joining Cornerstone Global Management, a cryptocurrency company, as their Director of Marketing and Social Engagement. Through a press release, Cornerstone Global touted Ray's combined 2.7 million followers between Twitter and Instagram. It was noted that Ray would play a leading role for the company heading into next month's Bitcoin 2021 conference. Now, of course, Ray departed WWE in 2017, 4 years ago, citing back injuries. She signed with the company in 2011 after a career in the Lingerie Football League. We'll have to wait and see. I was a fan of Summer Rae. I thought she was actually decent in the ring. She was, and considering her time in WWE, she's still well known. Again, it's been a minute since she's been out of the ring, and whether or not she'll make a return, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited. I am excited to see if she's there. I mean, she might just be visiting friends. We've got, of course, Tenille Dashwood on the roster, who was there with Summer Rae in WWE. So we could just be looking at a situation where she was visiting friends, or we could be looking at a situation where we've got Summer Rae joining the Knockouts division. Even if she's not going in the ring, maybe she could be a manager. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We haven't had those reports of if there are plans for her to come in, or if she was there to discuss anything, or she just wanted to be around the pro wrestling environment. We'll have to wait and see what the plans are for Summer Rae going forward. Finally, I do want to talk about Morrison and his status with Impact Wrestling. Now, if you're familiar, and we spoke about this on the channel before, Morrison said several times that his contract with Impact Wrestling was likely, or was going to, expire at Bound for Glory in October. Now, of course, we're way past Bound for Glory now. October's come and gone, so has Bound for Glory. Turning Point has since come and gone. And nearly November at this point has come and gone. So what's going on with Morrison? Well, it would appear that the former Big Cass is back on the open market once again, because it was initially reported by Fightful Select and Sean Ross Sapp that Impact Wrestling's Morrison's contract has expired with the company, technically making him a free agent. Now, Impact sources have informed Fightful that Morrison is looking for a big money deal, quote, by Impact standards. Now, despite his current status, it was told to Fightful that Morrison and Impact have continued their negotiations in hopes of reaching a new deal. They would also later clarify that Morrison will work Impact Wrestling's final tapings of the year. The promotion, as I mentioned, has been taping or has taped television, as well as the Turning Point event in Vegas last weekend. Now, Morrison is best known for his run in WWE as Colin Cassidy, former also known as Big Cass, where he gained fame by teaming with Enzo Amore. Following a heel turn, Morrison went on to feud with Daniel Bryan, former AEW star, or current AEW star rather, Bryan Danielson, but he was released in June of 2018 due to a variety of issues. Now, obviously, once he was released, he went through a series of issues inside and outside of the ring. He had a seizure in 2018. He had an incident backstage with Joey Janela at an independent event and WWE agent Pat Buck in 2019. He since sought help getting sober and dealing with depression, and has openly discussed the subject in numerous interviews. He debuted in Impact Wrestling in April of this year, teaming with Violent by Design. Since then, he's feuded with the likes of Willie Mack. He's feuded with Rich Swann. He teamed up with Moose as well. Now, he himself suggested that he had signed only a short-term deal with the promotion, with several reports suggesting it was up in October, which it is, and they are still trying to negotiate right now. This is an interesting one. I think the whole point, to be honest, of Morrison coming into Impact, and what this report basically said, is he came into Impact to prove himself, to prove to the world he was healthy. The issues that he had were in the past, and he was ready to be a big star once again, pun intended. And he's kind of proved that. And we don't know figures, so it's tough to say. We really don't know figures, so we don't know how much money he's looking for. Can he be a big deal in Impact? Yes. They've booked him incredibly strong in Impact Wrestling. Whether or not he sticks around, my thing would be, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Obviously, he can make good money on the independent scene, but is he going to go to AEW? I doubt it. I doubt it. Is he going to go back to WWE? He's still a relatively young guy. They like big guys. That's a possibility. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe for him, that's just literally what it's about. It's about him proving himself to WWE, proving himself that he's healthy and happy and ready to go and can be dependable and reliable once again. Because I guess that was the issue of WWE. They had this guy feuding with Daniel Bryan just after Daniel Bryan came out of retirement. Daniel Bryan was red hot, and they were all of the stuff was that Morrison was going to defeat Daniel Bryan in this feud. And obviously, because of these issues, it didn't happen and he got released. So maybe he thinks, if I can prove myself, I can go back to WWE. We don't know if they're interested. Time will tell. I hope he does stick around in Impact, because I think he can be a big deal. But it goes to show why, whilst they've been booking him strong, they haven't really properly pulled the trigger, if you will, on Morrison. Why? They don't know if he's going to be around. So that's kind of the situation there. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. As always, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on all these Impact Wrestling news stories we've spoken about today? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about Impact Wrestling, AEW, WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Get the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or have you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.